Hi everyone, and welcome to another part of these Solidity tutorials. In this part we're going to create another contract called the marketplace contract. So it's a simple marketplace where we're going to enter some of the products and write a contract for buying and selling the items inside of the marketplace. So in order to do so, let's create a new contract in the contracts folder. So I'm gonna call this marketplace.sol. There we go. So let me check the name, marketplace. So let's rename it. Here there seems to be some misspellings. Marketplace, there we go. Just as always, we're going to copy and paste the first two lines related to the license and the version of Solidity. There we go. Now let's create the contract marketplace. So now let's open the brackets and see what we can write. So the first step is to define a struct called product. Struct product. So instead of the struct, we'll have uint id, string name, uint price, which is the price of the product, and address payable seller. So notice that every time we want to pay with Ethereum, we use payable. If there are other tokens, we won't use payable. So for because here we want to buy the item or product using Ethereum or Ether, we will use payable. And we have the Boolean variable is sold. So we use it when the product is sold, and when it is sold, it will be true. When it is not sold, then it will be false. So after the struct, we will define uint public product count. There we go. And then we'll have the mapping uint product. So uint to product, and product here is the type. So public products, there we go. And then we will define two events, product created and product sold. So an event for product created is when we want to create the product, but so let me write it first. Product created, and when we want to see that the product is sold or not, we will have the event product sold. So uint id is one of its properties, string name, uint price, string name, and uint price. So we'll also have the address of the seller. So address seller. We've got another event afterward, which is for product sold. So product sold, make sure you write the right spelling. So again, we will have uint id, string name, uint price, address seller, and address. Another address is needed, so that is for the buyer. There we go. So now that we have the two events, we can then write a function create product. So function create product, so it will get a string memory name, so we'll get the name of the product, and then we'll have the price of the product, which is what the user will define, and that is for creating the product. And what we'll get here is these two items, so the price and the name, and nothing more. So we'll have the public. Also notice that the price is of the uint type. There we go, and we're ready to open the bracket. So here we will increase the number of products, so product count plus plus, and then we'll have products, and then here in the array we'll have product count, and then it will be equal to product, so product, and here we have the product count, which is for the ID of that specific product, count, and the name that we will get from the user, the price, which again we'll get from the user, and payable address of the message sender, payable, and then false, which is the status of its sold condition. So right over here we have this, and there's one more line to write here, and that is emitting the event related to product creation. So product created, there we go, and instead of it product count, which is the ID of it, the name, price, and the message sender. So the name and the price and msg.sender. There we go. Don't forget about the semicolons at the end of the lines because they will produce errors. And then that's it for this function. We will write another function here. Function for buying the product. We'll call it buy product. So let's open the parentheses, and here it will get the uint ID. This is the ID of the product as the input, and public payable, which is the type of the function. So let's open the brackets, and here we'll write product storage product, and notice the capital letter and a small letter at the end of each one of these products, because this one is the type and this is the name of the variable, so make sure you don't mix these two up. And then we'll have the products, which is not singular. It starts with a small letter and it shows the array of the products, and inside of it we'll get the ID that we'll get from the user. So there are three requirements that we need to write. The first one, product.id. Product.id should be greater than 0, so it shouldn't be equal to 0, it starts from 1. And product.id should be smaller or equal to the product count, right? So it shouldn't be greater than the product count. Product count. So otherwise it will show the invalid product ID to the user, and don't forget about the semicolon. The next requirement is that the product ID, actually the product shouldn't be sold, so product dot is sold shouldn't be true. Otherwise will show the user product already sold, so the user cannot buy it anymore. Product already sold. And the next requirement is message.value. So the buyer, who is the message sender, the balance of the message sender should be greater than the price of the product, greater than equal to the product dot price, and otherwise will show the user insufficient funds. So if all these three requirements hold, then we will go to the next line and change the status of the product that is sold to true, because the product is actually sold, and the reason is all the requirements are met and actually the user has bought the product. So product.seller, product.seller.transfer, product.price. So the money will be transferred to the seller from the buyer, and we will emit the event of the product sold. So product ID, it contains the product.id, product.name, and the product.price. What's more is the product.seller, and the buyer of the product, which is the message.sender, msg.sender. So notice that whenever you want to buy the item, you should be the buyer with another account. Whenever you want to create a product, you should be the seller with another address and another account. So if you want to test the smart contract, you need to have two different addresses and test it with the two different addresses for buying and selling. So once we save this, we shouldn't be seeing any errors, but right now we see some errors, so let's see what they are. First of them, so we have a misspelling, product count here. So it should be written with the capital letter at the beginning. So once we save this, it will be removed. And the second one is, again, we'll have the misspelling for the product count. So let's solve this, save this. There seems to be another one here with the capital needed, and also another right over here which also needs the capital letter. Product count, save it again. So there seems to be another error, product created. So this one seems to have another problem. So product created, so here we should have the D after created, so that's it. And then product count again with the capital letter. Okay, let's save this, see if there is any error. So require, it will require the product required. Let me check. Okay, there doesn't seem to be a misspelling. No matching declaration found after argument dependent lookup. So let me see what it actually is. Function require boolean and string memory. Oh, here it shouldn't have a comma. Instead, we should have AND statement, because both of these two requirements should be met at the same time. So we don't have a comma. Instead, we have AND. So once I save this, you will see that successfully we have got this contract successfully compiled. Now we're ready to deploy it. So now let's deploy the contract, and as you can see, it has been successfully compiled. Now here we have some items. We have buy product, so you can buy the product whenever you have defined the product. So here, for example, I can write Apple and give it an ID here, so you can click on the drop down and enter both of the properties. The Apple is the name of the product, so I can give it the ID 1. So I can click on the transact. As you can see, it has been done. So we can call the product count, and it's 1. And here you can see if the product exists. So actually there is this error, so let me see what it is. So products, here it should get, oh, there we go. So you should enter a number here. So it's got an ID 1, the name is Apple, and price 1, and the seller is this address, and is sold status is false. So once you enter the ID of the product, you will get the ID, what it is, and the price of it, the seller of it, the seller of the address of the seller, and also the status of the product, whether it's sold or not. So here, if I want to buy the product, I can change the address to something else, and here I can enter the ID of that product and buy it. So there seems to be a problem here, insufficient funds. So let's see what that problem here is. So why do we have insufficient funds here? So in order to make that happen and being able to actually buy the product, you need to here enter the price of the product that you want to buy. So here I enter 1, which is the price. So in order to buy the value here, you should enter 1. So let me change the address to something else, and here actually we should change this to 1 somehow. So I've changed this to 1, and here I can enter the ID of the product. As you can see, it's been successful. So if I try this again, here we will face the product already sold. Also, we will face the insufficient funds if the product is not sold. So let me create another product, for example, orange, with the ID 2, product count, and so okay, let me check this. Product count 1 and 1. As you can see, it's been true, so it's Apple true. Let me change this to 2. So the ID is 0, so we don't have that kind of IDs. So now let me change this to 2 and transact and get the product. We have 2 products right here. So as you can see, it's orange, and the price here is 2, I think. So yeah, yes, that's the price, not the ID. So apologies for that. And here I can enter the price that I'm looking for. So let me change the address here. Let me, oh, sometimes it's just a bit tricky to enter the number. So now we've entered it, we can enter the ID of the product, and as you can see, it's been successful. Now once I click on the products, as you can see, is sold status for the orange is true, so the product has been sold. So that's it for this part of the tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, goodbye.